nurtured drives me. I had to be a role model and just an inspiration to my brother.
Over my entire life, my brother's inspired me for the leadership quality he possessed, and watching him work towards the things that he wanted to attain. He's the one that kind of pushed me and then showed me what drive was, showed me how to work with things. So my entire life, my older brother was kind of the one who laid the footsteps for me to follow and to chase and attain the things that I want to attain.
I realized I had a gift for inspiring and motivating. I've lived through obstacles. The more you persevere, the more you work hard, the better that you will become, and the more success that you will gain. My message for the youth today is: do not be the exception, change the rule.
All right. So first, it's an honor and a privilege to be here talking to you guys today. And I just pray that what I say to you will just make you think about life differently. And I just pray to God that I may decrease, that God may increase in me, that I give a word to you guys that will transform your lives. So, my topic today, straight out of North Pole. Anybody know what the North Pole is? Yeah. Santa Claus. No, it's not Santa Claus. North side of Chicago, the northernmost region of Chicago, consisted of Uptown all the way to Rogers Park and the inner suburbs of Chicago. So, there are a couple famous people. I know most of us from the south side and the west side. Right here, my brother Rashard Mendenhall, Super Bowl champion of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have here Jewel Lloyd, #1 draft pick in the WNBA in 2014. Then we have Shaquan Thomas. Anybody know Shaquan Thomas, aka Young Pappy? Who that is? Who is that? It's a rapper. He got killed in 2015. He was probably one of the, in my opinion, the best rappers to come out of Chicago. But because of decisions that, what? I'm talking about drill rappers. But because of the decisions that he made, and I have a story about him for another time, his decisions caused his fate, which was his murder in 2015. So background about me. Born originally on the south side of Chicago. Had a lot of obstacles in my life. So I had a father who spent time in prison. At the age of 5, I was diagnosed with a learning disability. So I was in special education classes all the way to 8th grade. Was raised predominantly in a single parent house with 3 kids, and a lot of times a cousin or 2 cousins living with us. So I didn't come from the best of circumstances. But in spite of these things, I was able, by the time I was out of 8th grade, test out of special education classes. I was able to go to high school and become pretty successful in sports, which earned me a football scholarship from the University of Illinois. From there, graduated, transferred to Illinois State, then from there, the NFL, where I played for the Colts, the Bengals, the Bills, and yeah, that's it, 14-2 in a couple of years. So, what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, what I'm doing now, I was able to get my master's degree. I was able to become a youth pastor, still working with youth, a teacher. Yes.
I'm sorry, what is your name?
Walter Mendenhall. Yes. So I was able to do a lot of things and accomplish a lot of things. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is how to live in your future. That's the topic. How to live in your future. A lot of times, we base our decisions, base our lives, based on our current circumstances or what has happened to us in the past. And we make our decisions, we make our choices based on where we are right now. And if I were to did that, I don't know where I would be. I'll probably be dead. I'll probably be in jail. Probably be selling drugs if I made decisions based on my current circumstances. So right now, what I'm going to talk to you today, give you 4 principles on how to live in your future. The first one, decisions. Today, I am giving you a choice. You can choose life and success or death and disaster. I remember in 8th grade, my coach, Mr. Masterson, and my dean of students, he said, Walter, you have all the potential in the world, but your friends are going to be your downfall. And at that time, I was about to graduate, I wasn't trying to hear what he was trying to say to me. Let alone 3 months later, during that summer, my friends, 2 of my best friends, decided to join the Black Stones gang. And I was on the fence on whether I was going to join or whether I was not going to join. And in August, anybody play football, raise your hand. We know August, you have practices, right? You have doubles, you have triples. So my friends decided, like, you know what, we're in high school, we're going to try to make the football team, we're going to try to play. And after the second day of doubles, between the first practice and the second practice, they were like, Walter, man, let's get out of here, man. This ain't for us. And I had to make the most important decision I ever made in my life at 14 years old. And that's when I decided to stay, and they left and went on what that block was called Knox Street at the time. So imagine what would have happened to me if I would have went with them. Imagine what would have happened. Anybody? What you think would have happened? I probably would have joined the gang. I probably would have got in trouble. I probably would have did drugs. I probably would have did a whole bunch of things. But in those 4 years, that 8th grade lunch table with 8 guys, only 2 of us graduated high school, and I was the only one that went to college out of my 8th grade lunch table. And that was some of the most important decisions I ever made in my life. So right now, at the age of 14, 15, 16, 17, you guys are making the most important decisions that you are ever going to make in your life, because that's going to determine your future. If I would have made that wrong decision at 14 years old, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys right now. I wouldn't did that. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been able to go to the NFL. I wouldn't have been able to have a college scholarship. So the decisions you are making right now are going to determine your future. And right now, you are the sum total of the decisions that you have made. I'm going to say that again. You are the sum total of the decisions you make. So if you don't like where you're at right now, make better decisions. Make good decisions. And that you will be successful. And I am not going to lie to you. I have made some bad decisions in my life. And this is the time where I call shame and disappointment. Isaiah 54:4. Do not be afraid. You will not be put to shame. Do not fear disgrace. You will not be humiliated. You will forget the shame of your youth. So, I'm in college. You know, in high school, I made some decent choices. I wasn't perfect, but I made some pretty good choices. But when I got to college, you know, I let the prestige, the fame, playing at a big time university, get to me. And even in high school, I put football as an idol. I put sports as an idol. Anybody know what an idol is? What's an idol? Something that you worship, even before God. So for me, when they say ball is life, ball was really life for me in high school and in college. Ball was life. But the bad thing about that is when it's not going right, your life is not going right. So I went to a time where I wasn't getting the playing time I felt I deserved, and I fell into a deep depression. In order to get out of that depression, I tried to satisfy myself and the pain that I was feeling with the things of the world. So I was partying, having sex with multiple women, doing any and anything that I wanted to do, and it cost me. First thing it cost me a murder. Murdered my own seed. Second thing it cost me, sexually transmitted disease. Thank God that it was something that I could take some pills and it'll go away. But it costs. Sin costs. Making bad decisions costs you. And it got so bad that one day I was laying in my bed and I was contemplating taking my life. I'm like, football ain't going right, nothing going right in my life. What's the point of living? as I lay in my bed, I asked God, I was like, God, if you are really real, I need to know today, because I don't know if I'm going to live to see tomorrow. And that's the first, maybe the second time I felt the presence of God come in to my room, hold me like he was holding a newborn baby. And I had the most peaceful sleep I ever had in my life. And that day, I decided that I was going to live for God. I was going to live for God and not my way. So your will versus God's will. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails. So after that day, the circumstances didn't change, but my attitude changed. So I ended up leaving the school, the University of Illinois, going to Illinois State, did pretty good at Illinois State, and had an opportunity to play in the NFL. So I thought, once I got in the NFL, all my problems was over, you know. I had everything I ever wanted in life. But it was something inside of me that was just missing or wasn't happy, that was always unsettled. And as I think about it now, I knew that I wasn't going to be there a long time. It was only temporary. Because I knew God was working on me, even though I didn't want to admit it, because I wanted to be in the NFL and be a star running back like my brother. But that wasn't God's purpose or God's plan for my life. So I ended up bouncing around from team to team, and the last team I was with was the Cincinnati Bengals. And I remember after OTA, so summer workouts, the running back coach came to me. He was like, Walter, you have a great chance of making this team. So I'm hyped, I'm pumped, I did good. I'm driving back to Chicago for my week break, and then they